The sea is alive. Waves roar like an angry beast, lightning cuts across the night sky, and shadows twist in the storm. From the darkness, a ship emerges, fighting against the wild ocean. It is fragile compared to the endless sea, yet unstoppable. In spirit, a voice rises above the storm, clear and fearless. The journey has only just begun. The ocean stretches endlessly, a world full of danger, mystery, and dreams. In the silence between storms, whispers spread across the seas about a treasure beyond imagination, about a man who once ruled it all, and about a new generation daring to chase his legend. This is the story of pirates, not ordinary thieves of the sea, but dreamers who fight against the impossible. It is the story of those who rise when the world tells them to kneel, of those who laugh in the face of death, and of those who sail toward freedom. But before this new chapter begins, we look back. A boy with a straw hat stood tall on a tiny ship, eyes shining brighter than the sun above him. His name Monkey D. Luffy. Unlike the rest of the world, he wasn't chasing gold, nor power, nor fame. His dream was bigger. His dream was clear: to be king of the pirates. That was the promise he shouted to the winds, the vow he carved into the sea itself. He wasn't alone for long. Fate brought together strangers who became his family. A swordsman with unshakable will, willing to fight until his last breath to keep a promise he could never break. A thief with a broken past, who taught herself never to trust, yet found the strength to hope again. A liar with grand tales who discovered the courage to fight for others, not just for himself. And a cook with a fiery heart who left behind the only place he had ever called home, all for a dream he refused to abandon. Each of them carried scars. Each of them carried burdens too heavy for one soul to bear. But together they shared something stronger, the belief that dreams are worth dying for. They fought, they laughed, they cried. They broke chains that once held them down. They raised their flag not as individuals but as a crew. And in doing so, they made the world take notice. Their first battles were just the beginning. From the smoky decks of pirate ships to the blood-stained floors of duels fought under the moon, they carved their names into the seas. Enemies stronger, faster, and more ruthless rose to crush them. But every battle only proved one thing: this crew wasn't ordinary. They were bound by something the world could never break: friendship, loyalty, and the fire of dreams that burned in their hearts. Yet the sea is not kind. For every victory, greater storms wait ahead. For every enemy they defeat, another rises with sharper teeth and darker shadows. The world beyond is far bigger than they imagined. A world where monsters, where the faces of men, where kingdoms fall under the weight of secret wars, and where the government itself fears the rise of a single pirate. The Grand Line awaits, a place where legends are born and forgotten, where the strong crush the weak, and where the future of the seas will be decided. And so, the story continues. As dawn breaks, the ship sails forward, small against the endless horizon, yet unstoppable. The straw hat flag flutters in the wind, a symbol of hope for some, and a warning of danger for others. Ahead lies adventure, ahead lies danger, ahead lies the truth that could shake the entire world. Their journey is far from over, it has only just begun. The horizon is no longer calm. A new ocean lies ahead, an ocean that is alive with secrets, storms, and shadows. The crew's small victories have already caught the eyes of powerful forces, and the seas will not forgive them for daring to dream so boldly. This is not just another chapter, it is the beginning of the true test of their bond, their courage, and their unshakable will to keep sailing forward. The Grand Line waits. A place every sailor fears, a stretch of ocean where the laws of nature collapse, where storms rise out of nowhere, and where even the bravest pirates are swallowed whole. Maps are useless here, logic fails here, and only those with unshaken resolve survive. But for the Straw Hats, this is not a reason to turn back, it is the reason they sail forward. Because it is in the Grand Line that dreams meet destiny. As they approach this new world, whispers spread across ports and kingdoms. A boy in a straw hat who laughs in the face of death, a crew that defies all odds, a flag that rises higher than Fear, the Marines begin to move, preparing to stop them before they grow stronger. Hunters sharpen their blades, eager to claim the bounty on their heads. And deep in the shadows, new enemies wait, figures who do not fight for treasure, but for power that can shake the world. Loguetown becomes their final stop before destiny calls. The town where legends are born and executed. The place where Gold Roger himself, the Pirate King, once stood before the gallows. Now, fate brings Luffy to the same ground, where history and the future collide. Here, he faces not only the weight of his dream, but the enemies who rise to crush it before it can grow. A man made of smoke, cold and unyielding, blocks his path. A reminder that the world government will never let freedom come without a fight. But the journey doesn't end here. Beyond Loguetown, the seas lead to kingdoms torn apart by war and lies. The desert of Alabasta waits, a land scorched by the sun and ruled by shadows. Crocodile, a pirate warlord with eyes set on more than power, plays a game of deception that could destroy an entire nation. His ambition isn't just to rule, but to control, to twist hope into despair, and to turn kingdoms into dust beneath his feet. Against him, the Straw Hats are nothing more than ants. But ants with dreams can bite harder than lions. Along the way, allies rise where least expected. A princess disguised among her enemies, carrying the weight of a country on her shoulders. A brother with fire in his veins, tied by blood and by destiny. They bring strength but also burden. For every friend they find, the dangers grow sharper. For every hand that reaches out in trust, another blade waits in betrayal. The Grand Line is more than battles and storms. It is a world of secrets. A world government that hides truths too dangerous to reveal. Ancient weapons spoken of in hushed whispers. Histories erased from memory, buried beneath centuries of silence. And somewhere, at the end of it all, the One Piece itself still waiting for the one bold enough to claim it. For Luffy and his crew, the seas ahead will not be kind. But kindness was never promised, only freedom. And freedom, in this world, must be fought for with every breath, with every scar, with every drop of blood spilled on deck. This is no longer the story of strangers finding each other. This is the story of legends being born. And so, the ship sails forward into the storm. Not because the path is safe, but because danger is the only road worth walking. Ahead lie battles that will shatter kingdoms. Ahead lie enemies who will test the very core of their dreams. Ahead lies the truth that will decide not just their fate, but the fate of the seas themselves. The seas are darker now, the enemies greater, the risks heavier. But still, the flag rises. Still, the laughter of a boy in a straw hat cuts through the chaos. Still, the dream lives on. The Grand Line has opened its gates, and it will not close until the world itself has changed. Every crew is built on strength, but the Straw Hats are built on something more. They are bound not by chains, not by fear, but by dreams. Each one carries a fire inside, and in the battles to come, those fires will burn brighter than ever before. Zoro, the swordsman who walks the edge of death with every swing of his blades. He is more than muscle, he is a man of unbreakable promise. Each duel he fights is not just against an enemy, but against his own weakness. The night is cold, the moon above sharp as steel, and still he does not fall. For him, every scar is a step closer to his goal. He will become the greatest swordsman in the world, or he will die trying. And when his swords rise in the dark, they are not just weapons, but proof that his dream is alive. Nami, the navigator who steers through chaos itself, she carries maps in her hands, but storms in her heart. The sea took everything from her once, but she took it back with her own strength. Now, she guides the ship not just through waves, but through destiny itself. When the storm screams, when lightning splits the sky, it is her hands on the wheel that push the ship forward. She does not fight with fists or steel, but with a spirit. Unshaken and with a dream as vast as the oceans she commands, Usopp, the storyteller who turned lies into courage. He once ran from battles, hiding behind words, but now he fights with his own hands. Every invention he builds, every trick he uses, is a spark of creativity in the face of impossible odds. He may stumble, he may fall, but when his friends need him, he rises. His lies were once just dreams he couldn't reach, but now those lies are becoming truth. He dreams of being a brave warrior of the sea, and in every battle, he takes one more step toward becoming the hero he always pretended to be. Sanji, the cook whose kicks burn hotter than fire. He left behind the only family he knew, but not his. Dream, he searches for the all-blue, a sea that may only exist in legends, but to him it is real enough to fight for. Every strike of his leg, every flame that erupts in battle, is more than a weapon. It is his soul, refusing to let anyone take his dream away. He fights not just with strength, but with passion. His hands may be for cooking, but his feet are for protecting, and no enemy will take that from him. And then new faces appear. A princess named Vivi, carrying the weight of her kingdom on her shoulders. She smiles with kindness, but behind her eyes lies pain, responsibility, and the fear of a nation collapsing in war. She does not fight for treasure, but for her people. And in her, the Straw Hats find not just an ally, but a reminder that their journey is not only about dreams, but about the lives they touch along the way, and in the flames of battle, a man steps from the shadows. Ace, with fire burning at his fingertips and loyalty carved into his heart. He is not just another pirate, he is Luffy's brother. Their bond is deeper than blood. He is a force of nature, a reminder that family is not lost to time or distance. His fire lights the path forward, but his presence is also a warning. The seas ahead are full of power, far greater than anything the Straw Hats have faced. Each character is more than a fighter. Each one carries something bigger than themselves. Together they are a crew that laughs, that cries, that bleeds. They argue, they break, but they always rise again. Because for them, there is no turning back. For them, every battle, every storm, every tear is proof that their dreams are alive. As the seas grow darker, so do their trials. Betrayal will cut deeper than any sword. Choices will weigh heavier than any anchor. Bonds will stretch until they threaten to break. But it is in these moments, when the world is against them, when hope seems gone, that their true strength is revealed. They are not just pirates, they are family. And family does not surrender. So when the battles come, when enemies rise, when kingdoms tremble, the Straw Hats will stand. Zoro with his blades, Nami with her charts, Usopp with his tricks, Sanji with his fire, Vivi with her hope, and Ace with his flame. And at the heart of it all, Luffy, with nothing but his laugh, his fists, and his unshakable dream. The seas are wide, the enemies countless, the challenges greater than ever. But together, they are more than a crew. They are a legend in the making. And the world is about to learn what happens when dreams refuse to die. The seas explode with chaos. The screen fills with fire, steel, and storms, cutting from one moment to the next. Cannons thunder, blades clash, and the skies burn red as destiny unfolds before the Straw Hats. This is no longer a simple voyage. This is war written in waves and shadows. The montage begins with a scream of battle. Luffy launches forward, his fist stretching across the sky like a storm itself, crashing into enemies who thought him weak. Each punch shakes the screen, each laugh he gives rings like defiance. He is not just fighting for treasure. He is fighting for the promise he made to himself that he will never stop until he becomes king of the pirates. The scene cuts Zoro, his swords flashing, locked in a duel that could end his life in one wrong step. Sparks fly as steel meets steel, his eyes glowing with determination. He fights with silence, with focus sharper than any blade. And through blood and sweat, his vow is clear. He will never lose again. Nami stands at the helm, the storm tearing at her clothes, lightning striking so close the ship trembles. Her hands are steady. Her voice cuts through the chaos as she commands the crew. In her eyes there is no fear, only fire. For the first time, she is not a thief of maps, but the one who guides legends through storms. Usopp, trembling, bleeding, yet standing tall. His slingshot fires not just stones, but courage itself. Behind him, his lies echo in memory tales of bravery he once only imagined. Now the truth of his courage is carved in every shot he takes. He may not be the strongest, but in the moment, Where everything burns, he is the hero he always dreamed of being. Sanji spins into battle, his kicks ablaze, every strike a storm of fire. His face is fierce, but his heart is clear. He fights for his crew, for his dream, for the ocean that still calls his name. His flames light the darkness, a signal that nothing, not even shadows, can consume their spirit. The montage cuts faster, sharper. The desert sands of Alabasta rise in whirlwinds, armies clashing under a burning sun. Crocodile's hand closes into a fist, the ground cracking beneath his power. His laughter echoes, cold and cruel, promising despair for anyone who dares to defy him. Against him, the Straw Hats look small. But small things can change the world. Vivi runs through the chaos, her voice breaking as she cries for her people. Her hope is fragile, but unshaken. She is not just a princess, she is a fighter, carrying the weight of an entire kingdom. And beside her, the Straw Hats fight, not because it is their war, but because it is the right thing to do. Then, a flash of fire. Ace bursts into the frame, his flames lighting up the night sky, his laughter wild and free. He stands like a storm. Given form, a reminder that family can never be broken by distance or time. His presence turns the battlefield into an inferno, a warning to the world that the seas are about to change forever. The montage crescendos, ships burning, marines advancing, shadows of the world government looming, ancient secrets whispered in darkness. The Straw Hat flag flying high through smoke and fire. And in the center of it all, Luffy, shouting with everything he has, "I'm going to be king of the pirates." The music swells, drums pounding like a heartbeat, voices rising like a storm. The screen cuts to black, silence heavy after the chaos. Then a single voice, low and defiant. "This is not the end. This is only the beginning." The title slams onto the screen with the force of thunder. 1 Piece Season 2-2026. Netflix. The Jolly Roger appears, burning against the darkness, and then fades into silence.